Hare Krishna. So now come here. Nee, wir machen dann Deutsch, ne? Weil Englisch verstehst du gar nicht, oder?
Doch, ich verstehe schon Englisch. Ich verstehe so 80% und kommt immer drauf zusammen. Also ich kann schon folgen, definitiv, aber ich verstehe halt nicht jedes Wort.
Ja.
Manchmal sind schon irgendwelche Sachen dabei. Aber ich
So, dann machen wir jetzt. Und dann Srimad Bhagavatam 9, 16, 24. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Haribo. So. Now I have to sit. So Google, YouTube, Google Meet, 3D, was noch? So. All right. Hare Krishna, Uddhavananda, and what is 80 verse? Okay. Today, is Mataji coming for class or? We will have in English.
Okay.
Everybody speaks English?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm so dark in the picture, but anyway. All right.
No, Prabhuji, it's coming.
Yes. So we start. You can hear me? Yes? On Google Meet, you can hear me?
Prabhu, this is for YouTube. So Google Meet, are you starting? Yeah. That. Yeah.
If I speak like this, can they hear me, or do I have to speak into the microphone?
It's audible. Yeah, it's audible. It's audible. It's audible.
Good. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Vrajyatana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Vrajyatana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna. We'll read today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 16, verse 24. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Sva-deham jamadagnistu. Sva-deham jamadagnistu. Labdhvā saṁjñāna-lakṣaṇam. Labdhvā saṁjñāna-lakṣaṇam. ṛṣīṇāṁ maṇḍale so-bhūt. ṛṣīṇāṁ maṇḍale so-bhūt. saptamo rāma-pūjitaḥ. sva-deham jamadagnistu. labdhvā saṁjñāna-lakṣaṇam. ṛṣīṇāṁ maṇḍale so-bhūt. saptamo rāma-pūjitaḥ. sva-deham jamadagnistu. labdhvā saṁjñāna-lakṣaṇam. ṛṣīṇāṁ maṇḍale so-bhūt. saptamo rāma-pūjitaḥ. sva-deham, his own body. Jamadagniḥ, the great sage Jamadagni. Two, but labdhvā, regaining. Saṁjñāna-lakṣaṇam, showing full symptoms of life, knowledge and remembrance. ṛṣīṇāṁ, of the great ṛṣis. maṇḍale, in the group of 7 stars. Sah, he, Jamadagni, abhūt, later became. Saptamaḥ, the 7th. Rāma-pūjitaḥ, because of being worshipped by Lord Paraśurāma. Translation by His Divine Grace, ACBSP Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus Jamadagni, being worshipped by Lord Paraśurāma, was brought back to life with full remembrance, and he became one of the 7 sages in the group of 7 stars. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The 7 stars revolving around the polestar at the zenith are called saptarṣi-maṇḍala. On these 7 stars, which form the topmost part of our planetary system, reside 7 sages: Kasyapa, Atri, Vasishta, Vishvamitra, Gautama, Jamadagni and Bharadvāja. These 7 stars are seen every night, and they each make a complete orbit around the pole star within 24 hours. Along with these 7 stars, all the other stars also orbit from east to west. The upper portion of the universe is called the north, and the lower portion is called the south. Even in our ordinary dealings, while studying a map, we regard the upper portion of the map as north. Translation again. Thus, Jamadagni, being worshipped by Lord Paraśurāma, was brought back to life with full remembrance and became one of the 7 sages in the group of 7 stars. So, Hare Krishna. Good morning. After Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, actually a new year of the Gaurapta calculation starts. It was the 540th appearance day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu yesterday. So we are in Gaurapta 540 now, starting first day now. Yesterday we had this full moon, the Gaurachanda, the full moon of Lord Chaitanya. We didn't have a moon eclipse, we had a full moon, and today is Pratipat, first day of the next lunar month, which starts with the going towards Amavasya, or the new moon, the Krishna Paksha, or the dark half of the moon. Okay, so new year, new life, new experiences, new plans, new adventures. And we start this new year with one verse from the beautiful story, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 16, Lord Paraśurāma destroys the world's ruling class. So today we hear that Paraśurāma's father, Jamadagni, became one of the sages in the group of 7 stars, one of the 7 sages. So as we remember, we are into quite a bit into the story. Jamadagni was killed by the sons of Kartaviryajarna, murdered, very sinful, heinous act. He was murdered while in meditation. This is a terrible offense, first against the Brahmana, because Jamadagni was a Brahmana, and then also against the devotee of the Lord who is practicing his yoga in connection to Krishna. A terrible offense. And Paraśurāma wasn't there at this time when this happened, otherwise would not have happened, because the sons of Kartaviryajarna watched out for a moment where Paraśurāma wasn't there. They had already experienced his strength. Paraśurāma previously had killed 17 Akshauhinis of Kartavayajana, the entire army of Kartavayajana. 17 Akshauhinis, that's 3 to 4 million people, between 3 and 4 million people. Remember in the Battle of Kurukshetra, there were 18 Akshauhinis. So they watched out for a moment, killed Jamadagni's, Paraśurāma's father in revenge of their own father's death, and Paraśurāma came back and he saw the mess, and first thing he did, we go back a few verses. Paraśurāma so Paraśurāma first took revenge, it seems. In verse 18 to 19, we hear, "O king, with the blood of the bodies of these sons." So Paraśurāma killed all of them, then killed the entire Kshatriya dynasties for 21 times. And here we read this verse, "O king, with the blood of the bodies of these sons, Lord Paraśurāma created a ghastly river, which brought great fear to the kings who he had no respect for Brahminical culture. Because the Kshatriyas, the men of power and government, were performing sinful activities, Lord Paraśurāma, on the plea of retaliating for the murder of his father, removed all the Kshatriyas from the face of the earth 21 times. 21 times. Indeed, in the place known as Samanta Panchaka, he created 5 lakes filled with their blood." Terrible, ghastly story. I mean, this story of Lord Paraśurāma is really violence at its best. It's divine, it is all about violence. Even before that, Jamadagni had ordered his sons to kill their mother. You remember that? Only because Jamadagni's mother, while going to the river, she saw this king of the Gandharvas, Chitarata, and having fun with some celestial girls. And she in her mind only, she thought, wouldn't it be nice to be a consort of this beautiful Chitarata Gandharva king? So Jamadagni knew her mind, and just because of this thought, he ordered his mother to be killed by his sons. Terrible. Huh? Then all the sons, none of the sons wanted to do it, only Paraśurāma was willing to follow the order of his father and actually killed his mother. But he said, one desire I have, want to utter after this has happened, and the desire he uttered, bring them all back to life, bring his mother back to life. So then, and she wouldn't remember anything that happened before. So then after having killed all these Kshatriyas dynasties 21 times, then only Paraśurāma set out to have this sacrifice, to join his father's head back to the body. So the father must have been laying there with the head cut off. Because first of all, of course, when the sons of Kartavayajana killed Jamadagni, they took his head with them. So first he had to find his father's head, which was only possible after killing the sons of Kartavayajana and also these 21 dynasties of Kshatriya king. Then he had recovered his father's head, he joined it back to the body, and then did the sacrifice where we had, we read text 20, thereafter Paraśurāma joined his father's head to the dead body and placed the whole body and head upon kusha grass. By offering sacrifices, he began to worship Lord Vasudeva who is the all-pervading super soul of all the demigods and of every living entity. After completing the sacrifice, Lord Paraśurāma gave the eastern direction to the Bhūtā as a gift, the south to the Brahma, the west to the Advayu, the north to the Udgata, and the four corners, northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest, to the other priests. He gave the middle to Kashyapa and the place known as Aryavata to the Upadrishta. Whatever remained, he distributed amongst the Sadasyas, the associate priests. So last class we were explaining who were these four priests, four priests involved in every Vedic sacrifice. So Lord Paraśurāma, he gave the entire earth as a gift to these Brahmana priests. And then he took this avabhita snana in order to make up for any mistakes that may have occurred during this performance of the sacrifice. Then he was cleared of all sins and he appeared like the sun in a clear, cloudless sky. So you can think, was Lord Paraśurāma actually subject to sinful reactions? Was what he did, was that a sin? In the Vedic terms, it was. So just for pleasing, for respecting Vedic law, rules and regulations, he performed these sacrifices and also took the bath. But since he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, none of his acts had any sinful reactions. He can never be contaminated by sin. See, the Supreme Personality of Godhead many times is compared to the sun, with the sunshine. Nothing can contaminate the sun. Even the sunshine cannot be contaminated. It will always remain pure. The example is given of stool in the street. When the sunshine shines on stool, it will dry up the stool, and the stool will become dry, so it becomes purified. Also, in India, they have these urinals also, where people pass urine. These places are also purified by the sunshine. Certain clothes also, like silk and wool, you can put them in the sunshine will purify them. So the sun cannot be contaminated. On the opposite, the sun will always purify everything where it comes contact with. So similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, many times compared to the sun, he cannot be polluted. He cannot be polluted by sinful reaction. Everything he does is purely spiritual. There's no reaction because why? He's completely transcendental. And whatever he does is for the good of the living entity. It has some purpose. Just like many times we say that the emperor is beyond jurisdiction, or even the president of the state normally has this immunity. He enjoys this immunity. He is beyond the laws of the state. Although he enforces the laws of the state, he himself is beyond the laws of the state. Of course, under certain circumstances, he can be impeached. It's obvious that he's committing unlawful activities. So similarly, the Supreme Personality of God is never under the rule of karma. So Paraśurāma actually, he would not have had to perform these purificatory ceremonies, but he did to respect Vedic culture and to give an example. Just like Krishna also, he himself acts like a human being, especially when he, in his Vasudeva feature, when he lives in Dwarka, he performs exemplary acts as a householder, and he respects his elders, acts like a Vedic king. And even Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, Krishna says, if I would not act according to Dharma, then the whole world, the entire world, will fall into ruin. If I wouldn't work, Krishna says. Work means according to Dharmas, Varnashram Dharma. The entire world would fall into ruin. So you could, this may have different meanings. Krishna, when Krishna maintains the universe, actually he's not working. But when he comes down as a Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he does perform some work. He goes here and there. He is a king. He has a court. He does diplomacy. So he does some work. But also, if Krishna, wouldn't like maintain the universe, of course, everything would crumble. Although it's for him, it's no work. Especially also as explained in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, yat acharati shrestas tat eveta rojana sayat pramanam kuruti lokastat anuvatati. Whatever an important person does, the entire world will follow his example. So if Krishna wouldn't give a good example, the entire world would follow. Krishna gives the example, but not always. So we have to be very careful which acts to follow. Should we also marry 16,108 queens? Not possible. Try to follow the example of Lord Paraśurāma. Wouldn't be recommended. So we have to be careful. Sometimes these incarnations, they do what is called superhuman acts. They do things nobody can imitate, and nobody should ever try to imitate. And the example is also given of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva once drank an ocean of poison. The only thing that happened, he got a blue throat. He got a blue throat, Nilakanta, blue throat, from the poison. Srila Prabhupada says that one drop of this poison would have killed an ordinary human being. But Lord Shiva drank entire ocean that was extracted from the otherwise ocean of nectar, from the Jamadag ocean. So the point was, Lord Shiva didn't die, he only got this blue throat, Nilakanta, and that didn't harm him. Because we could say, well, blue throat maybe it made him sick or something. No, he was for good order. It decorates him, blue throat, for him it's a decoration. Like, well, sometimes we get blue fingers, that is a deficiency of blood circulation. But for Lord Shiva, it was not a deficiency to get a blue throat. For him, it was decoration. So we cannot do these things. I know some people from the Hindu community, they say, I will know as particular one person, he is the main distributor of Indian rum, alcoholic beverage, rum. The rum is called Old Monk's Rum. It's made in India. You know that India makes rum? Mm-hmm. Old Monk's Rum. Have you seen the brand?
Yes.
Really? I didn't know until I got to know this person. But he is the main distributor for Old Monk's Rum in Germany.
Okay.
So we have this. He's also playing an important role. He founded a temple. He's one of the beacons of Hinduism. He is into politics. He is he meets important people. You see him always on Facebook meeting this person, that person, giving him a bottle of Old Monk's Rum. So we were discussing how strange, how can a Hindu, distribute rum? Well, my partner on the Hindu forum, Jami, said, well, Prabhu, you don't fully understand Hinduism. In Hinduism, so many things are possible. See, Lord Shiva, he also drank poison. Therefore, we can drink alcohol. What you say, huh? So sometimes also people say, well, we can smoke hashish, bang. We can take bang. Bang is a toxicant, and smoke. What is it called? It is cannabis. Certain people, yogis, doing. Why? We are worshipping Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is merciful to us. He doesn't give us poison. He gives us intoxicants. So Prabhupada says this is a completely nonsense argumentation. You cannot imitate what great personalities do. You have to follow the example they give. How do you understand that? Like here, Lord Paraśurāma, he's killing the Kshatriyas 21 times in revenge for his father. Can we act like this? Say somebody kills a relative of yours, can you go after him and kill him? Because not only him, but his entire family take revenge. Blutrache, you know what call it? Blood revenge. They have it in certain cultures. No, it's not allowed. You'll be taken to prison. I know my wife is from Mexico. There in previous times, they still had this, what is it, Blutrache, revenge by blood, because the police was not functioning well. You know, if there was a lot of killing going on in Mexico, people would shoot each other for nothing. They would get into the bodega, get drunk, and start shooting each other, you know, for small things. And one of her uncles, this happened to one grandfather of my mother's, and my wife's, and her uncle killed that man. He was never taken to court for it. Was respected, blood revenge. Why? Because the law was not in place. They didn't have the police in place, you know, so this type of revenge was going on. But in an orderly state, there is police force, and these things are taken care of by the court. You can't do these things in Germany. You'll be taken to court. So also, the Vedic society at one time was very orderly. You know, everything was functioning very clearly, very nicely, and they had the Raja. He was actually the one who enforced law. He was also able or in the position to give capital punishment, even during Lord Chaitanya's times, but only the king or his ministers or the police force. On the order of the king, capital punishment was also given in Vedic times. So that is, so therefore you cannot act like Lord Paraśurāma. You cannot act like Lord Shiva, and you cannot imitate Krishna either when he lifts the Govardhan hill, for example. Can you lift the Govardhan hill? No, we can't. It's impossible. Neither can you imitate Lord Krishna when he dances with the gopis. Krishna dances not only with 108, but with millions of gopis during the rasa dance. Some people say, well, then I at least can dance with one or two gopis. This is sahajiya. No, you have to follow the example. Now, it's not so easy. Where are these great personalities like Lord Krishna and Lord Paraśurāma giving an example? And where are they performing superhuman acts? And this will be explained to us by the acharyas, by the spiritual masters. They will explain to us. Like you read the Krishna book as explained by Srila Prabhupada. There Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains the entire 10th canto. Whenever there is such a verse like Krishna is dancing with the gopis, Srila Prabhupada will explain this doesn't mean that we can dance with the gopis. But certain things that Krishna does, we have to follow the example. Certain things that Lord Paraśurāma does, we should also follow. Like when we have committed some sinful activity, even unknowingly, we should do sacrifice. we should do sacrifice, following the example of Lord Paraśurāma. Last time we were saying there are panchasuna, 5 types of sinful activities that everybody does, even when just ordinary living. For example, in the kitchen, I hear them cutting vegetable. When cutting vegetable, you kill some insects, some small, that is one type. When in the kitchen, when lighting a fire, you kill more. In the kitchen, when using a mortar, you kill more. When walking in the street, you step on living entities. And when washing, when using water, you also clean your body every morning, means you wash off bacteria and stuff like that, kill living entities. So if we don't do anything to counteract these even unconscious sinful activities, we'll get karma for them. We'll get the sinful reaction for killing living entities. And therefore, we have to do sacrifice. There's 5 kinds of sacrifice, which we mentioned last time also. Vedic sacrifice, quite complicated. Krishna speaks about these Vedic sacrifices in the Bhagavad Gita, but he says you can also get all the benefits that you get from different wells, you can get from the river. Krishna gives the example, if you take water from different wells, wells, Quellen oder Brunnen, from different wells, you take water, one well for washing water, one for drinking, and so on. You can get the same benefit from the river. You go to the river will give you all these benefits. Drinking water you get from the where the river originates, and washing water a little further down, and so on. There's a science to it. So similarly, one who serves Krishna, one who serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he doesn't have to follow all these Vedic rules and regulations. So in this age particularly, these rules and regulations of the Vedas do not work any longer. They do not work in Kali Yuga. But we have the Sankirtan Yajna, which was introduced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is a Yajna. Yajna Sankirtana Prayer. Yajanti Husumetasa. The Sankirtan Yajna, the Yajna, or the sacrifice of chanting the holy names. And that replaces all other sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices. Also, it connects us directly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Isn't it beautiful? It connects us directly. The other yajnas do not connect you directly with the Supreme Lord. Mostly they connect you with some demigod. But Sankirtan Yajna connects you directly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Also replaces all the other Vedic yajnas. And why is chanting Hare Krishna a yajna? One could think, why is it yajna? Yajna means sacrifice, you give something up. But in Krishna consciousness, yajna doesn't mean you only give up, but you particularly give. You give to Krishna. You give to Krishna his holy name. He loves being praised. Krishna is like he loves being praised. Okay. He loves it. There is a rule for the devotees. One should be humble. Right? Krishna also sometimes is humble, but when you read Bhagavad Gita, you are not getting the impression that Krishna is a humble person. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata saram pravartate. I'm the origin of everything. Everything comes from me. Or aham adirhi devanayam. I'm the origin of the devas. Bhoktaram yakya tapasam. I am, Krishna explains, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. All sacrifices are meant for me to enjoy. not for demigods or anybody else. One who doesn't respect this law that worshipping Krishna, he will fall down, Krishna says. So in Bhagavad Gita, we are not getting the impression that Krishna is a humble person. He says, now Arjuna, I'll explain, in 9th chapter, I'll explain to you knowledge that you have never ever heard before. This is the best knowledge, and what I'm saying, that is the best. Don't listen to anybody else. Krishna is not being humble in Bhagavad Gita. But he does mention humility as the first symptom of knowledge. And so there's different things. If Krishna speaks like that, he can do. Why? Because he's supreme anyway. There's nobody above him. He is Ishvara Parama Krishna. He is the supreme Lord. Sarva Karanam Karana. He's the cause of all causes. And there's nobody superior to him. So therefore, he's just saying the truth, But the living entity, when he says all sacrifice, he's only saying the truth. But when living entity becomes proud, then it calls for fall down, because actually the living entity is only minute part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasha stan indriyani prakriti stani karshati. The living entities are all my eternal parts and parcels, says Krishna, tiny. He is vibhu, means unlimitedly gross, and the living entity is anu, unlimitedly small. And the symptom of our being so small, of our tininess, of our small size, is that we manasha stan indriyani prakriti stani kashati. We are so small that we have fallen out of the spiritual world under the control of material nature. The living entity is spiritual, actually in contact with Krishna. It is as strong as Krishna. But if you lose Krishna, you fall under the control of the inferior energy. The living entity is higher energy, spiritual energy. Actually maintains the universe. All the living entities maintain the universe, Krishna says in the 7th chapter. But now, in this material body, we are fully under control of material energy. Fully. Even we have forgotten that we are spirit souls. So it is called kshara, or fallible. The living entities are called akshara. Why are they fallible, fehlbar? Because they are so tiny. Krishna is akshara, unfehlbar, unfallible. Why is he unfallible? Yeah, because he is so great. So, therefore, we, the small living entities, can never imitate great Krishna. Then why don't we, swim to Vaikuntha or something, No, we can't. Can't swim to walk, hike, Even with a rocket, we cannot go to Vaikuntha. Because we are fully under control of the inferior nature. But the only thing we can do, we can link up with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also taught this. He taught that for chanting Hare Krishna, there is one recipe. Trinat api sunicina taroreva saishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. He says, more tolerant than the tree, more, in the grass, humbler than the piece of straw in the street, always ready to pay respects to all others. In such a state of mind only one can chant the holy name, because this being so humble, you are closest to what you really are, namely tiny living entity. So if somebody is proud, he's proud of his body. I have such a big, beautiful body. I'm so strong. Or of his mind. I have such a good intelligence. He's proud of his body. There's nothing proud to be proud of. The body will die after some time, due to the forces of material nature. Yeah, so good. Therefore, we might think, well, Paraśurāma, he's killing all these people. We can also do that. No, forget it, We are not, in our Hare Krishna movement, we are not trying to get into trouble with the law, You know that in Russia, the state was going to forbid the Bhagavad Gita because Krishna was telling Arjuna to fight. They were saying that it's a terrorist book. So, okay, so be careful when you hear the story of Paraśurāma, how he took revenge, Blutrache. What he did was, what do you call it, Blutrache? Blood revenge, or?
How to check, Prabhu, I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what is meant, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can also do. No, please. We are following the state laws, We don't want a big article in the newspaper how the Krishnas, Okay. Yeah. All right. So any questions about this?
Yes. There is, for me, it's hard to understand why we are spiritual souls, small, tiny pieces of Krishna, and we are coming from the spiritual world. Why?
Yeah.
Because why can I fall down when I'm in the spiritual world and I'm a spiritual soul and serve Krishna and I'm absolutely happy inside me?
Yeah.
How can I fall down? What could be the reason? Maybe it's the will of Krishna. Then I can understand these two men on the, don't know the English, but die Torwächter,
ja.
Die eigentlich dann in die Materie mussten.
No, the reason why we come to this world is because of an error, an Irrtum.
Okay.
We are here by an error, but we came here because of an error. The error was, there is one example given. Krishna is having lunch with his cowherd boys in the spiritual, in Goloka Vrindavan. They have been herding the cows, they're a little tired and hungry, so they have lunch. Their mothers have given them the lunch packets along. They open up their lunch packets, sit down together, have lunch with each other. They share the food, from their lunch packages. They're having a wonderful time. And Krishna's in the middle. They're sitting around Krishna. Krishna is the most beautiful one. He has this peacock feather. They're all exchanging friendship, Sakya Rasa with Krishna. They say, Krishna, what do you think about this? Krishna, what do you think about that? Sometimes they have these games. Who is the first to touch Krishna? Krishna is always in the center. So after lunch, say the example, one cowherd boy, the cowherd boys, they go wash their mouths in a clean river there in Goloka Vrindavan. One cowherd boy, he looks at his reflection in the water and he thinks, that I'm quite beautiful also. Why always Krishna? This error crept into his mind. And it was a deviation from pure Krishna consciousness. He thought of himself. He thought, I am as beautiful as Krishna. why should we run after Krishna? Why should we play these games? Who's the first to touch Krishna? Why should we play a game? Who's the first to touch me? I find this is unjust. So this doubt crept into his mind, and from the point of Krishna consciousness, this is an error. Because Krishna says, he is the origin of all devatas, and also the supreme enjoyer, the receiver of all. So he's saying the truth. We were explaining that he's not being puffed up, but he's saying the truth. So this coward boy, he said, okay, the time he thinks this, because he has this independence, he goes to the material world, there he can try to be the most beautiful one. It's because of that little error. That little error is he became envious of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't notice, he was only thinking, or he was comparing himself with Krishna, but he became a little envious of Krishna. That's the reason why he goes down to the material world. Why did he become envious? He has this liberty, this freedom.
Mm-hmm.
He does not have to worship Krishna. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to, but then he has to go to the material world, because there everybody can try to be as good as Krishna, but in the spiritual world, Krishna is the supreme.
Okay. So envy is the reason.
Yes, envious of Krishna.
Thank you.
Even if somebody is, say, in Vrindavan, selbst wenn jemand in Vrindavan ist, hier in Vrindavan in Indien, wird neidisch, sein Bewusstsein wird sofort überdeckt. Er lebt nicht mehr in Vrindavan wirklich. Er lebt irgendwo da in München oder.
Okay.
Das bringt uns runter, weißt du, die Neid. Ja.
Okay.
Ja.
Ja.
Okay. Hare Krishna. You have something to say, Mataji?
Yeah, that's the question, the famous question.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you were there and then you came to material world.
Yeah, it's now I was explaining because of envy of Krishna. We are allowed to become envious of Krishna. That's the freedom we have. But once we are envious, we enter into a lower type of consciousness, self-consciousness. And we think ourselves to be the supreme, although there are so many other living entities and there's Krishna. This is a very limited type of consciousness that you can't have in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, now I have to close here. I'm not getting any electricity. This plug doesn't seem to be working. Okay. Krishna. Yeah, so I have to shut this down. Thank you. See you next time. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. So, yeah, okay. Hari Bol. Okay. Hari Bol.